Good morning, students. Today we have to start with the hydrochloric acid. How to prepare this acid, that preparation we are doing now. When this HCl is being dissolved in the water, means the hydrochloride gas is dissolved in water, then the hydrochloric acid is formed. This hydrochloric acid is a covalent compound which ionizes in the water due to its polar nature. Always remember the dry hydrogen chloride gas in which the water is absent or liquid hydrogen chloride again in which the water is absent. Don't give a test with the litmus paper or any indicator. The reason behind is the absence of hydronium ions. This gas is soluble in a toluene. That toluene is an organic solvent. Now the reason is why it is soluble, again due to the presence of a covalent nature or covalent bond. But again this is not showing the test with the litmus. It will not turn the blue litmus red or nor conduct electricity. I am repeating again. The reason behind the above point is only one, that is absence of the hydronium ion. That hydronium ion can only be formed when it is dissolved in water. That's why in toluene it is not showing the conductivity or a litmus test. Again it shows it is a covalent compound. After that we are coming to the laboratory method of preparation. How to prepare the hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is being prepared by the HCl gas which is being dissolved in water, or in other words the aqueous solution of HCl gas is known as hydrochloric acid. For that preparation the gas has to be passed in water until no more gas is absorbed, means up to the saturation point. The product is concentrated, and that concentrated product contain the 36% of hydrochloride by mass. It means in the water the 36% of the hydrogen chloride should be present, then it is called as concentrated. For that preparation, to make the saturated or concentrated hydrogen chloride, we have to set up apparatus. That apparatus is known as a funnel arrangement. Check it, the spotlight or the diagram. Check what is happening in this diagram. One trough containing a water, inverted flask with a delivery tube. From the delivery tube, the HCl gas has to pass to the funnel. And from funnel, it is moving to the water. As the HCl gas is highly soluble in water, what will happen? The water will rises up in the funnel. As it rises up in the funnel, the back suction occurs. A new word is before you, that the back suction. Now the question arises, what do you know by the back suction, or what do we mean by the back suction? I'm explaining it. Listen it carefully. As the HCl gas moves from the delivery tube to the funnel, through the funnel, it moves to the water. As it is moving inside the water, the pressure inside the delivery tube and funnel lowers, decreases. and the atmospheric pressure outside the funnel and your delivery tube, it will increase, or the difference in the atmospheric pressure and inside pressure occur leads to the water rising up with HCl gas. As the water rises up, again the pressure difference, a gap will maintain between the surface of the water and rim of the funnel. I'm repeating. After the bag suction, a air gap creates between the rim of the funnel and the surface of the water. Means a difference will appear, a distance will appear, or a gap will appear. A air gap is being created between the inverted funnel and the surface of water. It will last for a few seconds. After that, what will happen? When the pressure inside and outside become equal, I'm repeating, when the pressure inside and outside become equal, then this water comes down again inside the water. The water which is present in the funnel will goes down in the trough, and this process will occur again and again up to and until this trough water became saturated with HCl gas. In the nutshell, we will say that due to the pressure difference and highly solubility of the HCl gas, the water will rises up. Due to the rising of the water, a gap will create. This gap is created again due to the pressure difference outside and inside. This pressure difference create a gap that is called the air gap. This water which is present in the funnel will come down again when the pressure inside and outside became equal. This is coming under the funnel arrangement, and it is a very, very important. Kindly note it down, learn it thoroughly, learn the principle of that funnel arrangement. After that, funnel arrangement purpose is there. What purpose we are doing now? It prevents a minimizing back suction of water. What it means? It means that if the back suction occurs, a gap will create, then the water going back will be lesser. This will help to not enter in the generating funnel. Generating funnel means where the preparation is occurring of the HCl gas, from where the HCl gas is being prepared. It means that this solution will not go up to the generating flask, which will helpful for not giving the explosion. Second point, providing a large surface area for the absorption of the HCl gas. Yes, as a funnel has a surface area is more as comparison to the delivery tube. If the large surface area is there, then the pressure difference or the pressure creation will be lesser, and the water which is moving back will be in a lesser amount, and it will help to leading to successful of the your funnel arrangement. This will lead to lesser the water to be going back in the delivery tube. Now, again the repetition, why is the funnel arrangement used? As the hydrochloric gas is sufficient, it is very soluble, it absorbs in water very quickly. and pressure inside that delivery tube and flask. By this it will reduce, and the atmospheric pressure which is present outside will increase. From there the water will go up in the delivery tube, and that is called back suction. I have already cleared you this one. If the tube, if that tube means your funnel tube or the delivery tube is narrow, we are not attaching this one, funnel is with it, the water will quickly fill in it and it will pass over to the generating flask. Generating flask means from where the origination of that HCl is there. And this will stop the reaction, and might be some explosion occur due to the heat produced when water come in contact with the concentrated sulfuric acid, because in the preparation of your HCl gas, we are using the sulfuric acid. Now the precautions. To prevent an accident, what we are doing, we can do another thing, that the empty flask in between your generating flask and your water trough. If we are placing, check it here, if we are placing here the empty flask, that empty flask will help us. If the back suction occur, the water moves up, it will go in the empty flask. And if it is entering in the empty flask, it will not go to the generating flask. Means we can save here the generating flask, and the apparatus can be saved and the process can go smoothly. And when the pressure difference will be equalized, then it will come back. That is called anti-suction device. After that, next topic is HCl gas. Forms a constant boiling mixture at 110 degrees Celsius. What it means? It means that when aqueous solution of the HCl gas is being concentrated, means we are concentrating it by adding more and more HCl gas. That can be done by the distillation process till the concentration of the HCl reach the 22.2% of the HCl by weight and 77.8% by water by weight. It boils at 110, means these three conditions should be there. Then the concentration reach, means we are getting here the concentrated HCl. And if after that concentration is increased, then the property will change. No further increase in the concentration of an acid is possible by boiling. After that, no your changing in the concentration is there, because the azeotrope mixture is being formed, or the constant boiling mixture is formed. I'm repeating, what is constant boiling mixture? Is a solution which boils. It boils at 110 degrees Celsius without any change in the composition, means the property of the HCl will not change here, and that temperature is the 110 degrees Celsius, 22.2% of the HCl by weight and 77.8% water by weight is there. This is called a constant boiling mixture. Constant boiling mixture means that at that point the composition will not change. A dilute solution of the HCl become concentrated by boiling. We can change the dilute solution to the concentrated by boiling, but a concentrated solution of HCl become dilute on boiling. Means what is happening here? Vapors which are being evolved in the first case consist mostly of the vapors of water. Means when we are boiling the dilute solution of the HCl gas, the water is going up, water is going out, then the concentration increased. And when we are concentrated HCl is boiled, then what will happen? The molecule of the HCl are present in this vapor, because the concentration of HCl is more here. When we are boiling it, the HCl will move up, means the vapors of the HCl is moving up, and by this one again the dilute solution of your HCl is forming, means vice versa it is going on, but the vapors difference is there. In the first case the vapor of the water is going up, and in second case the molecules of HCl is going up. Now the property of the hydrochloric acid, color colorless is there, smell pungent choking smell as already we have done, taste it's sour or acidic in nature, turns blue litmus red. Physiological action, concentrated as a corrosive in nature and cause the blisters on the skin. We should be careful about this handling. Solubility, readily soluble in water in all proportion, boiling point 110, volatile in nature, and it's very important point, kindly note it down. Now coming to the chemical properties, the nature, first of all, nature, aqueous solution is strongly acidic because the hydronium ions are present. Show all properties of the acid, action under the litmus now, or the different indicators, moist litmus, not the dry litmus, moist litmus turns blue to red, methyl orange, orange to pink, phenolphthalein colorless to colorless, then no change will be there. With the action of the metal, as you know, whenever the metal reacts with any acid or the hydrochloric acid, there will be a formation of a salt and hydrogen gas. Same is occurring here. Calcium, magnesium or zinc when treated with the hydrochloric acid, formation of the metallic chloride with the hydrogen gas which result in the pop sound and burn with the blue flame. After that, the action on oxides and hydroxide, when any metallic oxide which is reactive in nature, which are present in the electrochemical series, but the position we have to check it. Treating with the hydrochloric acid, metallic chloride with the water formation is there. The difference between above and this one reaction is there. Here we are treating with the metal, and in the second case we are treating with the metallic oxide. When we are treating with the metallic oxide, then the water is forming, and when we are treating with the metal, then the hydrogen gas is forming. With the salt of the weaker acids, we are treating here the carbonates or bicarbonates, treating with the hydrochloric acid. When the treatment of the hydrochloric acid is going on, metal chloride with water and carbon dioxide is forming. Carbon dioxide is forming in this process. Always remember, whenever the carbonates and bicarbonates is being treated with the hydrochloric acid, then there will be a formation of the carbon dioxide, water and the salt. Carbon dioxide test is, it turns the lime water milky. With the brisk effervescence, colorless gas is there, acidic in nature. Now the next is the sulfides and bisulfides. The formula of the sulfides, SO3 negative, and bisulfide is HSO3 negative is there. When these salts are being treated with the hydrochloric acid, then there will be a formation of them again metal chloride with water and sulfur dioxide. Always remember students, again sulfur dioxide is giving the same test as the carbon dioxide is giving. It also turns the lime water milky as the carbon dioxide is giving, but the difference is there. It turns potassium dichromate paper green. The test is not given by the carbon dioxide. That is the differentiating your test between your sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. Now next is your metallic sulfide. Here the sulfide is being taken, sodium sulfide and ferrous sulfide, treating with the hydrochloric acid. Metal chloride is forming with the hydrogen sulfide. H2S gas is being formed. H2S gas is your rotten egg smell, giving its rotten egg smell and very identifying. Your odor is there which can be identified. Action on the thiosulfates. Now thiosulfates, formula for the thiosulfate is S2O3. We are taking with the sodium thiosulfate, Na2S2O3 with treating with HCl. There will be a formation of the salt, water, sulfur dioxide and sulfur. Color of the sulfur is yellow. Sulfur dioxide gas is being forming. Sulfur dioxide will turn the potassium dichromate paper green. This test can be taken for the distinguishing between the thiosulfates and sulfides, because sulfur is not being precipitated when sulfides are being treated. Only with the thiosulfate, your sulfur is being precipitated. This sulfur had the yellow color. Note it down, it's a yellow color, very important reaction. Next is the action on the metallic nitrides. Here your potassium nitride is being treated with a hydrochloric acid, formation of the potassium chloride with water, and nitric oxide with a nitrogen dioxide, that is brown gas. I'm repeating, potassium nitride treating with HCl gas. Yes, in case of the metallic sulfide, it will give the result of the hydrogen sulfide as we have discussed. Now the action with the thiosulfates. With the thiosulfate, the sulfur yellow PPT is being formed. Already I have explained it. Now the action of the metallic nitrides. In case of the metallic nitride, there will be a formation of the nitrogen dioxide, that is a brown gas, with nitric oxide, water, potassium chloride. Action with the nitrates. Dilute HCl does not normally react with the nitrates, but the reaction of the silver nitrate with HCl yield the AgCl, that is thick curdy white precipitate of the your silver chloride with the nitric acid. The white precipitate which is being formed in the nitric acid, soluble in the ammonium hydroxide solution and form a coordination complex compound, that is diamine. Check it, two amines are there, diamine silver 1 chloride, and it is your complex salt. When the dilute nitric acid is being added to the solution, means this complex is being treated with the nitric acid, the white precipitate of the silver chloride is being formed. For that process, what we are doing, silver chloride is being treated with ammonium hydroxide, then complex is forming. That complex is treating with the nitric acid and the white precipitate of the silver chloride is being formed. When this silver chloride exposed to light, it will blacken. The reason behind is that it decomposes into the chlorine and metallic silver, and which liberate a fine black powder. AgNO3 is used for the test. We are using for the testing of the hydrochloric acid, and also it forms a chlorine ions or chloride ions. Lead nitrate and mercury 1 nitrate react with the hydrochloric acid, forming the lead chloride with your mercurous chloride. Both are in the PPT form with the nitric acid. And this is the identification point of that. Point number 8, the formation of aqua regia, which is very important. That aqua regia is being used to dissolve the gold. HCl in the 3 part and HNO3 in 1 part. The ratio is the 3:1. When both are reacted, there will be a formation of the nitrosyl chloride with water and nascent chlorine. This nascent chlorine is responsible for dissolving the noble metal like gold and platinum. Check it the reaction. Gold react with chlorine, that is chloride, in the reactive form, in the nascent form. It will form the gold 3 chloride or platinum 4 chloride, that is its oxidation state. Due to that formation, it is showing the dissolving nature. After that, the reaction is oxidation of the hydrochloric acid. How the oxidation is being formed, it's a very important reaction down here. In every part, the chlorine gas is being formed. Manganese oxide, oxidizing agent. Lead oxide, oxidizing agent, Pb3O4, KMNO4, bleaching powder, all are being used as oxidizing agent treating with the hydrochloric acid. In most of the cases, the heating process is going on with the metallic chloride salt is forming water and chlorine gas. That chlorine gas is the identification point. After that, the last topic of this chapter, the uses of the hydrochloric acid. Generally, it acts as a laboratory agent for the preparation of the aqua regia, and aqua regia is being used to dissolve the noble metal like gold and platinum. In industrial uses, for the manufacture of chlorine and chlorides, and from that one, the ammonium chloride is being used in the dry cell, very important point. Silver chloride is being used in the photographic chemicals. Glucose from the starch. For the pickle steel, very, very important point, to clean the metal surface by using acid. Because HCl dissolve in oxides. And steel before being plated with a tin, the acid give the bright precipitate of that one. In this one, we are using that. AgNO3 with HCl, AgCl is forming with the nitric acid. And this precipitate is insoluble in the nitric acid but soluble in ammonium hydroxide. Keep in mind. The color of the gas, that is the chlorine gas, is greenish yellow gas. It is being liberated when the manganese dioxide, that is the oxidizing agent treating with the hydrochloric acid, formation of the manganese chloride with water and chlorine gas. The test for the chlorine is it turns the starch iodide paper blue-black. Very important test. Test for the chlorides, again the repetition is there here now. When the sodium chloride is being treated with the sulfuric acid, the pungent smell is being, or pungent fumes of the hydrogen chloride gas is being formed. When the manganese dioxide is treated with the sulfuric acid with your sodium chloride, then chlorine greenish yellow gas is being formed which bleaches the moist litmus paper or turns the starch iodide paper blue-black. When the silver nitrate is being treated with the chloride, then the silver chloride precipitates, white color, curdy white precipitates are forming with nitrate, which is soluble in your ammonium hydroxide but insoluble in the nitric acids. That's all for the chapter. By this, your chapter is finished. Kindly revise it properly, learn all the reactions by writing. Students, always remember at the back of your book, some revision equations are present which are very, very important from every chapter. Kindly learn it thoroughly by writing and learn all the tests which are present here, which are very important. Back suction process is important. Preparation of your hydrochloric acid, funnel arrangement, the principle, all things are very important. Kindly learn it thoroughly. Thank you and have a nice day.